Thanks everybody for joining us on a Sunday. Before I talk about the Take the Train and Take the Bus campaign, I want to do a brief plug for the Turnstile Underground Market here at Columbus Circle subway station. It is terrific, great food, great coffee, great shopping. Members of the press and members of the public ought to visit after this press conference. So Turnstile Underground Market. Today we're announcing a really exciting thing, which is a campaign which is Take the Train and Take the Bus. We're at a critical moment in New York City's recovery, and at the MTA we've got a singular focus right now, and that is bringing riders back to mass transit. Subways, buses, Metro North, Long Island Railroad, paratransit, etc. This goes hand in hand with providing a safe and secure environment where people feel comfortable to ride and go about their business. We're doing everything we can to work with the city to make our system as safe and secure as possible. Public transportation is still clearly the best way to get around New York. New Yorkers know this, and they're voting with their Omni taps and MetroCard swipes. The subways are now serving more than 2.1 million riders per weekday, some days in excess of that. And bus ridership topped at 1.2 million customers, 3.3 million customers a weekday. That is substantially higher than the low number of riders that we were carrying in March and April of last year during the worst days of the pandemic, and we've got a lot more growth to experience. So too with Long Island Railroad and Metro North, which are combined serving about 160,000 riders each workday, which dwarfs the combined average of about 23,000 a year ago. And let's keep that momentum going. Riders are soon going to see new digital signs at subway entrances welcoming them back, together with ads on buses and billboards, promoting a return to the MTA system, subways, buses, Metro North, Long Island Railroad. And there's more to come in the digital sphere. You're also going to be able to buy the cool limited edition shirts that Sarah Meyer and Demetrius Critchlow are wearing. They're available for sale. Joe Chan's got one as well. Really handsome, cool shirts. Everybody ought to have one. The new marketing push coincides with the return of 24/7 subway service, which actually returned this morning at 4 a.m. There will be no more closure going forward, and the city that never sleeps is again going to have 24/7 subway service. Give it up for 24/7. This is a special moment for the city, and as the city returns and surges from its pandemic slumber, 24/7 service is clearly the thing to do. You can really feel the sense of optimism and hope in New York, especially on a beautiful spring day like today, and with ridership increasing, number of vaccinated New Yorkers increasing dramatically, infection rates and positivity way down, all good, all signs of New York's recovery. The coming weeks and months are critical and essential to the city's long-term recovery, and I know that we can pull through together. Riders can trust that we're doing everything we can to keep them safe and promote public health. I'm proud to say that we'll be expanding and extending our successful public vaccination program, which since we started last Wednesday has vaccinated over 5,000 New Yorkers. That's incredible. We want to bring it to more stations during more varied hours to meet our customers where they're at. As a lifelong New Yorker, I'm bullish on New York, always have been. Our city has gone through hard times before, 9/11, the financial crash, etc., and it's always come back stronger. That's going to be true this time as well. I expect that our post-pandemic revival to not only be as strong, but robustly felt by all New Yorkers. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Demetrius Critchlow, Executive Vice President of Subways for New York City Transit. Demetrius.
Thank you, Pat. This is certainly an exciting day. The Subways team has been working hard to prepare for this day, this moment, the time when we enthusiastically welcome riders back to the system. Take the train. I'm confident that those coming back to the subways for the first time will like what they see. We've taken steps to incrementally increase service so that we're prepared to meet the new ridership demands as more New Yorkers return to the system. With Omni available system-wide, paying the fare has never been easier. It has been great to see customers embrace the new system. We're up to 75 million taps at this time in the past week. and I expect that those numbers will continue to rise. Our system, it has never been cleaner. That's thanks to our aggressive cleaning tactics that we've been using and the disinfectant protocols. We know cleanliness is important to our customers. It's important to us too. But it was especially gratifying to see that customers responded via the customer surveys. I want to make it clear that even with the end of overnight closures, we will continue to clean stations around the clock, as well as our rolling stock. We've learned a lot when we compress the time frame between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., and we're going to use those to serve as lessons learned as we move forward. As a reminder, the mask mandate is still in effect system-wide. I'm proud to say that as of the last survey, we were at 99%. So we just want to thank our customers for continuing to do so. I also thank them for giving us this chance. As Pat said, taking mass transportation is the best form of transportation. It has been said before that the subway system is the great equalizer. Just one tap, just one swipe, and it opens a world of possibility to you. I'd be remiss if I didn't take this moment to express appreciation to the thousands of Subway's employees who make this moment possible. From our front employees, the ambassadors of transit, to the employees who make the machine work behind the curtain. Thank you. I look forward to hitting the next ridership milestones and seeing more of you here and underground. Now I'll turn it over to Sarah Meyer.
Hi, everyone. It is so great to be here today. At this point last year, we were actively discouraging people from taking the subway. We were telling them to stay home. And now we're returning 24/7 subway service. It's really exciting. The work, of course, is not done yet. We will keep cleaning and scrubbing, and customers must continue to wear their masks. But we can loudly and proudly say, welcome back, New York. Today, we're officially proud to announce several campaigns aimed at bringing ridership back. We want to thank the essential workers who've been riding and have kept the city alive since the start of the pandemic. They've all experienced cleaner and faster transit, and we look forward to customers returning to experience the same. Take the train and take the bus. Simple and self-explanatory. It will allow us to advocate for transit that is better for our wallets and for the environment. Comeback shows the speed, the vitality of the system. We're at 100% of service, and we have seen all of our customer metrics, waiting time, platform time, all decrease, and that means less time with us and more time doing the things you want to do. I'll just wait until it scrolls a little bit so you guys can see the images. See Long Island Railroad and Metro North trains in this campaign. New York's making a comeback. Get on board. These are some of the signs you'll see on our digital screens all across the system. Welcome back, New York. This is what we're calling signs of affection, using our amazing subway typography to capture the humor and love that we have for all of our riders and New Yorkers. I would like to see you again on the subway. You are the one I want back on the subway. Enter here for a magical transportation system that takes you anywhere in New York City, just for $2.75. So these signs show our new bus lanes, which have been really increasing bus speeds throughout New York. And we're really thankful to our partners at the Department of Transportation and all elected officials across New York who've been advocating for bus lanes. Also showing really, really clean Long Island Railroad and Metro North trains. New York's coming back. You'll be coming back to the cleanest subway ever. And our last campaign, New York is Open. This highlights spaces, public parks that are open all across the New York and Connecticut region. Really good ideas for getaways and day trips to get out of New York City and experience the beautiful outdoor scenery that we have to offer. So all of these campaigns were developed in-house, led by the brilliant Joe Chan, Jed Poster, Steve Moverly, Brian Rogers, Ann Feldman, and others all contributed. We're also thrilled that you can buy merchandise associated with the campaign at the Transit Museum online store, where you can show support for public transit and get others riding the bus and riding the train. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it over back to Chairman Foy.
I'm going to take questions. Before I do that, let me just note two things. I want to acknowledge the work that Sarah Feinberg and Demetrius have done with respect to subways returning 24/7 service, the disinfecting work, and just the incredible service during the dark days of the pandemic, and to Sarah Meyer and her team, Joe Chan and others for the great work. I also want to say that Governor Cuomo's office will be making an announcement later today about the expansion of the vaccination program, and with that, happy to take questions.
Hi, Christy.
Christy.
Can you hear me? Okay. Christy with WCBS. Just want to know how and when, if you could explain a little bit more, the cleaning, disinfecting will be taking place now that it's 24/7, and also homelessness and crime. Any new sort of methods on how to tackle that now that it's 24/7?
So I'll talk a little about the cleaning process. So what we've done overnight is we've had a huge impact in working with our city partners, from the officers, as well as some security our internal security folks, as well as homeless outreach. So during that overnight period, we're encouraging folks to get off of the trains and leave the station, which is something that we hadn't done before. So we utilized that time and the distance between the trains to be able to really hit the trains and the stations for cleaning overnight. That 2 to 4 period was a good opportunity for us to use it as a test bed.
Yeah, look, on the crime issue, I want to start with acknowledging the terrific police work done by the NYPD with respect to the incident that occurred at this station on the D and the situation on the Lexington Avenue line. Great police work, and we're incredibly grateful for that. Look, we are asking and continue to ask for additional police resources and mental health resources to be invested in the system. We're grateful for the actions taken by Commissioner Shea in terms of surging police officers, the auxiliary officers, and dedicating 80 new graduates from the NYPD Academy to the system. From an MTA point of view, we're doing our part. We've got 100 MTA police officers in the system every day. That's despite the fact that the NYPD has primary responsibility for policing the subway system. We have added, Sarah Feinberg has added an additional 100 private security contracting folks to the 100 that are already in the system. And over the last year, we've put and continue to put additional CCT cameras in the system.
I'd like to follow up on that
Yeah.
question. During this long hiatus, the city has seen a dramatic increase in violent crime, especially gun crime. This is not necessarily the same city that people will be returning to the subways in. What can you say to reassure the public about that?
Well, look, the public has two concerns with respect to subways. One is COVID-19. We regularly survey our customers to get their thoughts. The last survey that was done was about 30,000 customers. That survey was done in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So 75% of our customers say they've never seen subway cars or subway stations as clean as they are now. Demetrius mentioned that the mask compliance rate is 99%. The single most important thing customers can do to protect themselves, fellow commuters, and our employees is to wear a mask. As Demetrius mentioned, we're going to continue disinfecting the station. With respect to safety, the subway is safe, but it's not as safe as it can and should be, and that's why we've renewed our requests of the mayor and city hall for additional resources.
Other side over there.
This weekend, there's been more crime on the subway. Friday, I mean, you're telling people to go back on, and we're trying to get more officers on underground, but these crimes are still happening. Again, what is the reassurance, and how do we know we're asking for these officers, we're asking for more resources, we're not getting them right now? How do you reassure riders to get back on? 24/7 is great for commuters, but is it safe?
Yeah, look, first of all, as I said, the NYPD deserves praise and thanks for the excellent police work in arresting the D-line perpetrator and the Lexington Avenue perpetrators, plural, several days ago. The police commissioner has put additional resources into the system. We continue to ask for more police and more mental health resources because there are a significant number of emotionally disturbed people on city streets and on subways. We're going to continue that request, and as I've said, the MTA police have added additional 100 police officers daily on a daily basis, despite the fact that policing the subway system is a responsibility of the NYPD. Sir.
There have been significant cuts in terms of staffing with MTA in the subway and buses. So you're saying people come back out, are you going to be able to operate the routes fully?
Yeah, no, two things. One, we're operating 100% of subway service as it existed pre-pandemic. We're able to do that. We are hiring operating folks in buses and in subways, and we have no concern about that at all.
Can I just clarify one thing? You were talking about the cleaning, and you're going to ask people to leave. Who are you asking to leave at that point? People who are on the train, sleeping on the train, or just people who are riding the train, period?
Yeah, we're going to ask customers when the train comes into a terminal station, just as it's more difficult to clean a room to clean your kitchen when there are guests in it, it's easier to clean it when it's free of people in the kitchen or people on a subway car. So we're going to be asking customers to get off to allow the cleaning to occur. If people are on the car, we're not going to clean around them. We're not going to ask transit workers to do that. But we've become far more efficient at disinfecting and cleaning over the months of the pandemic, and we're going to continue that disinfecting regime. Sorry? No, we've been cleaning and disinfecting, frankly, on a 24/7 basis. And when trains go into the terminal station, they will get a quick disinfecting before it turns around.
Said that there's officers on the platform and in the stations, but why aren't people seeing officers actually on the train cars?
Well, look, I think the answer to that question is twofold. More police officers would bring a greater visible presence to our customers and frankly to our employees, who are an important part of this equation, given the fact that transit workers have reported over 1,000 assaults, attacks, threats or spitting incidents over the last 6 months. So more visibility would come from additional police officers as well as mental health resources. I'm not going to give Commissioner Shea or Chief O'Reilly advice as to how to deploy their forces, but I think the point that visibility leads to deterrence is something that is clearly the case.
Would you want in a perfect world? How many officers would you have patrolling the subways?
600 to 800 officers, and the reason for that is we don't have perfect visibility into the number of officers that are being surged on a daily basis, but that's our ask, in addition to a substantial increase in mental health resources.
All right, anybody else? Yeah, last question over here, last one. Yeah, just so I understand with this cleaning. Hang on, did you have a question, man? Go ahead, last one here. How is this going to work? So I'm running the subway, presumably at any time of day. I'm trying to get somewhere. Am I going to have my trip delayed and get off a subway while they clean it, then get back on? I'm not sure how this works.
No, when do you want to explain cars going into terminal station?
So we've shifted our resources. A lot of we've taken folks out of the yards that used to clean, and now we're focusing them on the terminals. So when we come into a terminal location, we discharge the train, allow for customers to come off. We close the train back up. The cleaners come on, clean and disinfect the train, and we have a success there.
So thanks, Demetrius. Let me just sum up with the following. Subway's buses, we're now carrying 3.3 million customers and growing. Mass compliance on subways, 99%, extraordinary. No data from any transit system around the world that a transit system is a source of the COVID-19 surges that have occurred in other places around the world. Take the train, take the bus. Beautiful day in New York, spirit of hope and optimism, and the MTA wants to be part of that. Get on the train, get on the bus. Thanks.